You're standing in front of your bathroom mirror. You're brushing your teeth, maybe checking for a new pimple, or wondering if your hairline is receding faster than the polar ice caps. You look at your face, the two eyes, the nose, the opposable thumbs holding the toothbrush. It's a design that's worked pretty well for about 300,000 years. You feel permanent. You feel like the final version of humanity. But here's the thing about evolution. It never hits save and quits. It's a slow, grinding, relentless process that's happening right now, even while you're scrolling through your phone. And if you could step into a time machine and travel forward 1 million years, you wouldn't just see new technology. You'd see a version of us that might be completely unrecognizable. Imagine a world where your distant descendants look at a photo of you and think, wait, they actually lived in those weird, soft, fragile bodies? This is the story of the next million years of human evolution. Not just the biology, not just the tech, but the fundamental rewriting of what it means to be human. And trust me, it's going to get weird. For most of our history, evolution was simple. If you weren't fast enough to outrun a lion or smart enough to find water, you didn't pass on your genes. Natural selection was the ultimate filter. But in the last few centuries, we've done something no other species has ever done. We've broken the filter. We have medicine. We have glasses. We have Tinder. We've replaced survival of the fittest with survival of everyone who can reach a pharmacy. This means that traits that would have been a death sentence 50,000 years ago, like bad eyesight or a weak immune system, are now just minor inconveniences. So, what happens when natural selection stops? We start to drift. Without the pressure to be physically strong, our muscles and bones are already getting thinner. We're becoming softer. In a million years, if we stay on Earth, we might look like tall, slender, fragile versions of ourselves. We'd be the indoor cats of the primate world. No Netflix, no gym, just a million years of sitting in climate-controlled rooms. But we aren't going to stay on Earth. If humanity survives the next million years, we'll be living on Mars, the moons of Jupiter, or giant rotating space stations. And space is a terrible place for a human body. Mars has 38% of Earth's gravity. If you were born on Mars, your bones wouldn't need to be thick. Your heart wouldn't need to pump as hard. Over thousands of generations, Mars humans would likely become much taller and lankier. We're talking 7-foot-tall stickmen with elongated limbs. And then there's the radiation. Space is full of high-energy particles that want to shred your DNA. To survive, our skin might evolve to produce much more melanin, or even entirely new pigments. We could end up with skin that is deep purple, or even slightly metallic to deflect cosmic rays. Imagine a version of humanity that looks like a tall, purple, glowing basketball player. That's not a sci-fi movie, that's just basic physics. But biology is slow. It takes 100,000 years to grow a new toe. Technology, however, is fast. We are currently at the very beginning of the most significant transition in the history of life, the merging of biology and silicon. Right now, you're already a proto-cyborg. If you lose your phone, you feel like you've lost a part of your brain. In a million years, that phone won't be in your pocket. It'll be in your neurons. We're talking about Neuralink on steroids. Why bother with eyes that can only see a tiny sliver of the light spectrum when you can have bionic eyes that see infrared, ultraviolet, and X-rays? Why have a brain that forgets where you put your keys when you can have a cloud-synced memory with infinite storage? In a million years, the line between man and machine will be completely gone. We might not even have bodies at all. We could be digital ghosts, minds uploaded into massive server banks orbiting a star, living in a perfect virtual reality while our physical ancestors' bones turn to dust. You wouldn't be a person. You'd be a piece of software. If we don't upload our minds, we will definitely rewrite our bodies. We've already discovered CRISPR, the copy-paste tool for DNA. In a million years, we won't be waiting for evolution to give us new traits. We'll be designing them. Want to live for 500 years? Just flip a few genetic switches to stop cellular aging. Want to breathe underwater or survive in a high CO2 atmosphere? There's a gene for that. We will become the sculptors of our own species. But this leads to a terrifying question. If everyone can design their own perfect body, what happens to the human look? We might split into dozens of different subspecies. You'd have the deep sea humans, the high gravity humans, and the pure digital humans. The human race would become a human zoo of thousands of different forms, all sharing the same ancient ancestor who once sat around a fire in Africa. So, what is the final look? If you had to pick one version of a human from 1 million years in the future, what would it be? Many scientists point to a trend called neoteny. This is the tendency for species to retain baby-like features into adulthood. Compared to a chimpanzee, a human looks like a giant baby. Big head, small jaw, flat face. This trend is likely to continue. Our brains are getting bigger, but our jaws are getting smaller because we eat soft, processed food. In a million years, we might have massive, bulbous foreheads to house our hyper-connected brains and tiny vestigial mouths because we get our nutrients through liquid supplements or direct infusions. And the eyes? If we spend a million years living in low-light space stations or staring at digital interfaces, our eyes might become much larger to capture every bit of light. Big head, huge eyes, small body, grayish skin from living indoors. Wait a minute. Does that sound familiar? The gray alien archetype from 1950s sci-fi might not be an alien from another planet. It might just be a mirror. It might be us looking back at ourselves from a million years in the future. It's easy to feel a sense of loss when we think about this. We like our bodies. We like our 5 toes and our weird ears and the way we breathe air. The idea of becoming a tall, purple space dweller or a digital consciousness in a box feels cold. It feels like we're losing our humanity. But remember the thread. 50,000 years ago, an ancestor sat around a fire. They didn't have antibiotics, they didn't have the internet, and they didn't know what a galaxy was. But they felt love. They felt curiosity. They felt the drive to survive and see what was over the next hill. That is the golden thread. Whether we are made of flesh or silicon or light, as long as that curiosity remains, we are still human. Evolution might change the hardware, the eyes, the skin, the brain, but the software, the drive to discover and connect, is what truly defines us. So, next time you look in that bathroom mirror, don't just see a face. See a work in progress. See a bridge between the caveman and the star dweller. You aren't the final version. You're just a very important chapter in a story that's only just beginning. And honestly, in a million years, they'll probably still be wondering where they put their keys.